Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Asset investor. I decided I would try to get my video to you earlier today. I've been kind of busy in my day job and so needed to get to it. But I have some really cool things for you this Friday. The first thing that I wanted to show you is this ridiculous article that I saw. This is on AMB Crypto. And it's the XRP community is unhealthy, says the founder of the block, accuses Ripple team of price manipulation. Well, the Ripple price today is 29 cents. So I guess the Ripple team is manipulating the price on down and has been for the last 8 or 9 months. And I'm not sure what his point is in thinking that if these guys can manipulate it up and they have all this power, then why on earth would they be manipulating it down for the last 9 months? But anyway, this article is so funny and stupid at the same time. I wanted to read for you a part of this guy's twisted logic. And it's first important that you understand who this guy is. This is Anthony Pompliano. He's a famous, he started the block. And he's on Twitter. I see him on Twitter all the time. His name's Mike. I think it's Mike Dude. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. It was recently during a podcast with Anthony Pompliano, famously known as the Pomp. Mike Dudas, who's the founder of the block, said that the Ripple community is unhealthy. So it's this Mike Dudas guy who founded the block, and he's the one that said these things. But Pompliano, from what I've seen on Twitter, is kind of anti same way. But I want you I want to go through with you this part of his logic that I think is just hilarious. Down here, he says, let's see, it was right here. Agreeing to the fact that Ripple houses individuals who wish to see it succeed, he said, and he witnessed the corporate team's exceptional professionalism and called them talented. However, in his opinion, he believes that the team is responsible for manipulating the prices of tokens, he told Pompliano, and they're also very talented at increasing the value of things related to the corporation they work for, and the token is clearly part of that. In other words, you and I, as XRP holders, we are affiliated with a group in Ripple who is extremely talented, according to this guy, very smart people who are very good at increasing the value of things that they're associated with. And for that reason, he thinks we should not be holding XRP. I mean, how stupid is that whole train of thought? In other words, he's a Bitcoin maximalist, and he believes Bitcoin's the way to go. But as I've told you many, many times, these people that are sitting there in Bitcoin and they're calling it a store of value. It's a store of value. And the only reason they call it a store of value is because it's not good for anything else. XRP is faster and better in every single way because it was designed that way by David Schwartz and company. They designed it to be better, and they know it's better. And the reason these guys keep taking shots at XRP and Ripple is because they know it's better. Bitcoin, the store of value, if you don't call it a store of value and come up for that term for it, it's a nothing. It's a big nothing sandwich. And that's just the way it is. But I love how this guy, they're now attacking the XRP community as if we're all these bad, crazy people, when he makes his whole point in how awful this community and Ripple is. He makes the point about how talented. So in other words, as XRP holders, we wake up every day and we have one of the most talented, educated, smart groups of people that are going to bat to try to increase the value of XRP every day of their lives. And what does Bitcoin have? They have nothing. They've got this Satoshi Nakamoto who's somewhere hidden in a bathrobe who can't do anything to market it because he doesn't even want people to know who he is. So this is a no-brainer. That's why this was a no-brainer for me from the very beginning when I was investing. I looked at the list. I bought Bitcoin. I sat in Bitcoin for a while, and I said, well, wonder if there's some others that. And lo and behold, I find Ripple and XRP, and I say, well, here's a group of geniuses who are getting up and going to work every morning, and what they're doing is going to ultimately drive use cases and drive up the price of XRP. That's a no-brainer. When a Bitcoin maximalist wakes up, there is no news to look forward to except for that the speculation market is going to improve. That they can't. There is no nothing to wake up to as far as a use case improving. They're already beat because they don't have any use case. They've got a store of value use case, whatever that means, because in my mind, my store of value in XRP that can be sent in 3 seconds is a hell of a lot better than a store of value that sits there and it might move in anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. So anyway, moving along, this guy really made himself look stupid. Okay. Moving along though, so basically he's saying the XRP community is unhealthy, but I'm about to show you what really is unhealthy. And that is our old buddies Goldman Sachs. I tweeted about this last night. Even though I know how these people operate, I know it like the back of my hand. Even though I know that, this article just really threw me back last night because it shows you how blatant that these people lie. And I told you earlier this week, if you remember, the market, most of you will remember because the market went down 10+%. XRP went down and is still down as a result of it. But you all need to let this sink in and let it sink in very, very well, because this is what you've been seeing for the last 8 or 9 months. There is no better printed example of how these people lie and manipulate the market than what you've seen this week. This is it. And I'm referring to Goldman Sachs. 2 or 3 days ago, Goldman Sachs, it's leaked. It came through CNBC and several other news outlets that Goldman Sachs, some unnamed source, said that they had decided to shelve their crypto trading desk and they were just going to focus on custody. And some of the articles did not even say that they were going to focus on custody. I had to find that. Well, here a couple days later, Goldman Sachs Chief Financial Officer Martin Chavez called on a report that the bank was ditching plans to launch a crypto trading desk. Fake news. Well, here's my question to Martin Chavez, the Chief Financial Officer of Goldman Sachs. My question is this: why did you sit on this for over a day? Why did you knew that the market was getting beat up directly because of the Goldman Sachs false or fake news, as you call it. Why did you sit on it for a day? And why do you come out in this arrogant fashion and act like, oh, that's just fake news? Why would you do that unless you're a part of the problem, unless you are the fake news? And so, and one other question, why is CNBC writing this article and letting this guy say this is fake news and not saying, well, wait a minute, let's go back and find who this false source is so that A, it won't happen again, and B, we can find out why they leaked this false information. And the reason is because CNBC is part of the game. CNBC is one of their shills. We XRP Twitter people and YouTubers, we've been called XRP shills. Well, you want to talk about shills? How about CNBC? And you want to talk about frauds and Ponzi schemes and lying? Talk about Goldman Sachs and what they just did. Because regardless of whether Martin Chavez knew anything about the fact that this was fake, that somebody was doing this behind the scenes, regardless of whether he was involved behind the scenes, does he not have some responsibility to come out not 2 days later, but the day of, and say this is fake news to keep the crypto market from tanking the way it did? He felt no responsibility, and he's supposed to be some responsible financial citizen of the world? Please. All right, moving along. The next thing I wanted to show you is that the same way that Goldman Sachs replaced Lloyd Blankfein, I told you this a while back. Lloyd Blankfein, the guy that was running Goldman Sachs, was replaced by a more pro-crypto leader. And so, same thing with the SEC. They're now bringing in more pro-crypto SEC people. This Elad Roisman was brought in, and then after they brought him in, the articles start to come. Trump's new SEC commissioner means Bitcoin ETF will happen. So all of the regulatory framework, as well as the framework, the physical framework of opening up, investing in crypto to the world at large, is all happening. It's been happening for the last 9 months. Everything's being geared up. All your job is in this is to hold and not get freaked out by the manipulation that these guys have been doing in the meantime to pad their pockets. The next thing, and I've told you this was coming. I literally today, 2 of my predictions have come true. I've shown you stock reports of anybody from Goldman Sachs. I've shown you Edward Jones stock reports, and I told you that it's just a matter of time before it's over. You will see all of these traditional brokerage firms, and they will be issuing reports just like they do with stocks on digital assets, including XRP. And that will be a part of how they sell it when they're ready to sell it. And they have ways to make money. The way that they're going to sell these products is they're going to all of a sudden have all of this legitimate research. It's legitimate because they said it's legitimate. And all of a sudden, it's their legitimate research. They've put the stamp of approval on it. And now all of a sudden, it's safe to come in the water for all the average Joe investors, and you can come into crypto. And guess who's going to be sitting there when they come in, and they're all when they're all patted on the head and told it's safe to come in? You and I. Okay, this article right here: stock brokerage EF Hutton to launch crypto reports for confused investors. You're all dumb and confused because they have not patted you on the head yet and told you that it's okay. It has to be from them. It can't come from a YouTuber like me or somebody on Twitter. It has to come from the traditional finance people because they are smarter than all of us. So, go down. The company announced Wednesday that it is to publish research reports that will delve into cryptocurrency, specifically focusing on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, EOS, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Cardano. A great many investors are confused by the rapid developments in this new asset class. They know they can trust EF Hutton to guide them and to inform them about developments in this asset class. This is the first of many initiatives we are taking that adds value for our clients and customers. In other words, fellow holders of XRP, here they come. I've been telling you, Wall Street is coming. They've got to issue the reports to show you that it's legitimate research on these things. And the thing that comes after that, or in the middle of that, is packaging products and services to buy into XRP and these other digital assets that will allow these brokers and these institutional people to make a commission and to make money. And the second that they have got it all in place for them to make their money, whatever their percentages are, the second that they have that in place, they will be talking about XRP and digital assets better than I do. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm not making any money off of you putting your money in XRP. So anyway, This is fascinating right here, because this is what I've been telling you is going to happen. All right, for those of you that have not gotten your WireX payment card, go get it. They added Ethereum. I told you this week they added Ethereum support on the WireX card now, and you can get Bitcoin rewards with the card. Moving on, that's in the description of all of my videos, by the way. Also, really, this is a third prediction that I've made, and you're going to see this as well in the coming year. My prediction is that either this year, probably this year, starting this year and through next year, you will begin to see blockchain and crypto related Super Bowl commercials, and that is how you know that the hype and the bull market is here and coming, and it's going to be ferocious. And I believe that this bull market, when Wall Street finally is in the game, I believe this bull market will last for a minimum of a year to 2 or 3 years when it comes. And the hype, you won't even be able to turn your TV on without watching some kind of commercial about blockchain or cryptocurrencies or digital assets. You will not. So this article right here is kind of leading in that direction. This is one of the earlier ones I've seen. Crypto and stock trading startup Robinhood is eyeing an IPO. Now, when the IPOs start, when you start seeing the IPOs and they start hitting Wall Street, this is one of your first indications where Wall Street is literally able to get in on the money-making game. And this is when it all starts. So when Wall Street can hold up that stock or that company and say, ooh, this is blockchain, this is where they start creating the hype. This is where they start selling digital assets to the public, because now they have a vehicle to make money. That's how it works. Okay. Also wanted to show you this LinkedIn Top Startups 2018. They put out the 50 the most sought after startups in the United States. Well, guess who lands at number 7 and should be number 1? That's right, Ripple. Okay? It's not just your gut talking when you think, man, this Ripple thing is for real. This Ripple thing is for real. And everybody knows it. So, yeah, if you want to check that out, go to LinkedIn, just type in LinkedIn 50 startups, and you'll be able to find this article. But it's pretty darn cool to see Ripple that's the top 50 in the United States, top 50 startups, XRP, Ripple, that is. Next, I wanted to show you this, Crypto Joe, and it's I like to always give credit to people on Twitter. Send them some followers. Go follow this guy because he puts out some good information. At Dave_Jones_02. He summarized this interview. This is from the Crypto Finance Conference. This was an interview with one of the founders of Ripple, Chris Larson. And he summarized it here. He says basically the vision. He says they've got 100 now. Ripple has 100 production clients, and for those of you that don't know what that means, is production clients. These are actual people who are signing contracts to go live using Ripple. Now, many of those initially will not use XRP, but there's a thing in sales called upselling, and if you think that Ripple is not going to be upselling the products that do use XRP to these clients that go on board, think again, because that's how the sales world works. You sell with your entry product, and then over time you upsell them the benefits of your other products. In XRapid's case, the benefit would be that you save, as I recall, the numbers 30 to 70% by using XRapid. Okay. But he goes on to further summarize, far ahead of the competitors. Lawsuits are basically nonsense. He of course got the is XRP centralized thing, and he threw that out and said that's the Bitcoin and Ethereum people trying to take us down. Strikingly positive on regulation again. But one of the cool quotes that I thought he said in this, and I actually named this video after what he said. He said, money is still stuck in the 70s. And so I titled this, Money is Still Stuck in the 70s, Ripple XRP is the Future. And then I put a picture of a disco ball hanging from the ceiling with Swift's logo on it, and a picture of the moon with the XRP logo on it. And so I thought that would be a pretty good picture for you to look at going into your Friday of what we're really dealing with. But go watch this. You can go to Crypto Joe's Twitter feed and watch this. Really good thing. Also, and this is another, I can't remember if I've ever told you about Stewart_XRP, but go follow him. He's a great XRP Twitter guy too, and he put a pretty interesting graphic up. Ripple has this is about the 100+ production contracts signed, and he made an attempt to point out, and I thought this was definitely worthy of putting on here, because he pointed out some of the actual banks. This is from a slide that Chris Larson presented at a presentation, and he actually pointed out so that you could see what some of these 100 production customers that are actually going to be using Ripple's products that are going live. He actually shows you some of them. I'll read a few of these. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, American Express, SBI Group, Lin Pay, TransferGo, Axis Bank, FairFX, Qualix, Cambridge, Earthport, MoneyGram, Credit Agricole, SBI Remit. Some of these I can't read as well. Yes Bank, Act Bank, Santander, Standard Chartered, SEB. So, people, things are coming. So, stay on board the Ripple train. This next thing I wanted to show you all, I think that this is a great little graphic for you to take into your Friday, that what I'm about to show you. As we all know, we've been in a bear market for the last 9 months. I saw this, and it really doesn't have anything to do with crypto, other than it's a great visualization of where we are and how life works. Life does not operate in a straight line. Life operates in ups and downs. You get knocked off the horse, you get back up. But life is ups and downs. Without the downs, my contention to you is, without the downs, you can't have near the ups. You can't improve yourself as a person without getting knocked down, in my opinion. I can't tell you how many times I've been knocked down, but I also can't tell you how much, I can't really put into words how much that helped me. The times that I've been, in fact, literally, the YouTube channel that I have right now, I've studied the internet for probably 15 years, and I've learned many things about how the internet works and how you could be successful on the internet and do different things with the internet. And I've learned so many things, but I've failed so many times in doing different things on the internet, things I've tried. My YouTube channel is living proof that you can learn from some of your failures and improve things and make yourself better. And so, without further ado, here's the graphic that shows you that the downs are actually beneficial to you. I want you to watch these balls for a minute. And he says, proof that things get further with ups and downs. And that's a literal, that's a very fascinating illustration of the fact that downs are a good thing because they make for better ups. And I think that's a great life lesson. I will finish by telling you, the Ledger Nano S people, they have added 2 new apps to their software that are to reinforce your security with the Ledger Nano S. If you have not gotten the Ledger Nano S, or you haven't gotten your crypto gear and whatnot, go into the description of any of my videos. If you don't know about the Ledger Nano S, it's the safest way for you to store your digital assets. Do not store them on the exchanges. This is a way to store them offline so that hackers cannot steal them from you. I am not an investment advisor. I am the digital asset investor. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for listening, and hit the like button if you would as well. Have a great weekend.